This program is brought to you by FanDuel, where we give sports fans the chance to win every day.
Yo. The Pelicans just cannot win a game like a normal team. It got to come with heart palpitations. We be right back.
First took away. Yes, with this. Get your money's worth now.
You know who it is. It's me and my dog CC in the building. You know what I'm saying? I think Grub pulling up in a second. You dig? But man, how you doing? How you doing, sir?
Impregnate.
Right. So, anyways, the Pelicans won this game.
Hold on. We gotta win. We have to
I want to thank the Lord. I want to thank Coach Harbaugh. Fucking love you, man. Love the shit out of you, man.
Company Burger is the official burger of Pro Pels Talk and Boot Crew Media, located at 4600 Ferret Street.
Wasting your time, drinking that wine, smoking that smoke and doing that coke, dealing that dope, giving up hope. School is a joke. Gang banging.
You ran through a little medley of hits right there.
Yeah. Had to go through the hits when you get your 10th win out of 40.
Hey, Big Ten, drop a flex bomb on that, man. Drop a flex bomb on that, man. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
10 win of the season for the Pels, man. We hit 10 win.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Let's go. Man, and they did it in the manner of try to give you a heart attack, man. Michael Porter got that shot the last second, you know what I'm saying? And wasn't really sure if it was going in the way he been shooting tonight. Before we get anywhere, Chris, let's just talk about Lil Kenneth, man. We gotta talk about Lil Kenneth. You know what I'm talking about? All right. Lil Kenneth, man. Lil Kenneth, I don't know what he on. I think he read my tweets. Ever since I got on this. Yeah, I watched the show yesterday.
You saw a little segment about Trey?
No, I fell asleep on that part.
Then why you say you watched the show? Why you lied to me?
I did watch the show. I just fell asleep on.
You just didn't watch all the show.
yeah. So the beginning of the show. Told them single parenting out here this week. Man.
What the fuck, man? You went outside? Yeah. I was on the porch. What? So, point being, me and Grub was talking about how it's now time. There's no more excuses about Trey Murphy at this. Like, we keep talking about who's the leader, who's this, who's that, who's not, who is. And yesterday's game against the Nuggets was a latest example of us talking about Trey needed to be the one to take the mantle. He needed to be the one to be the leader. He got the personality. He got the athleticism. He got the it's cool to be liked, right? He got the game. On this team currently, he needs to be the best player on this team. Until and I put out a tweet earlier, until Zion either involves his game or improves his game, and or the Pelicans decide to add more modern pieces around this team, Trey needs to lead this team in shots every single game. And also, with that leadership, he got to do some other shit. And tonight, Lito, I'm gonna let you go. But small stuff like, he led the team in shots and he dropped damn near 40, but he got the last 3, I believe, defensive rebounds. Might have been 4. And for a dude, and that stuff like that is what I think. Yeah, let me see. Yep, the last 3 defensive rebounds. So shit like that with him needs to happen. He needs to be he need to be more vocal. He need to be the one putting shit in goddamn order. He need to be the one doing the shit that other people don't want to do. He need to be the one setting the example in practice and during the game. He needs to be the one playing better defense. He needs to be the one winning basketball games. And he did that shit. But he got to do it every game.
Well said, my brother. I didn't, like I said, I didn't see that part of the show, but I think you could stop your soliloquy right about, you talked about involvement or evolvement of another player. Like, let's just say it's Trey's team, and let's just move on forward. The data is showing us one thing, and that's no disrespect to that brother, because he he's a highlight factory tonight, man. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate when he play up to his level. But man, let's talk about Lil Kenny, man. There's OG joining the show as we speak, man. Shout out to the OG. Man, for the month of January. Oh, my bad.
What up, girl?
What's happening?
What up, girl? We were just talking about Trey, man. We just giving brother Kenny his flowers, man. For the month of January, y'all, he's averaging 31 points, 6.6 rebounds, 4 assists. He's shooting the ball 21 times, and he is shooting 43% from three. 43% from three. His last 5 games are 27, 42, 35, 21, 31. The only thing he's not really doing is the free throw attempts, but I mean, the efficiency that he's doing, you know, so the efficiency he's scoring with, you can't be mad at that. Grub, Chris said that, and I didn't even pay attention to this. Chris said that Trey got the last, what'd you say, defense or offensive, Chris?
He got the last 3 defensive rebounds from the Pelicans.
So Chris was telling me y'all did a little segment yesterday talking about, you know, this got to be Brother Kenneth's team going forward. He got to take those shots, but not only taking those shots, he got to do the things the best player on the team does. You saw that tonight?
Yeah, he closed out. I mean, that's the most important thing, is that when you needed him to make decisive plays on both ends, like close possessions with rebounding and then make shots on the offensive end, he did both of those things. And he did them in a manner that was aggressive. Like, that's the thing. In the fourth quarter, we've seen so many times that the Pelicans do not take it to the other team, and they allow the other team to either fail or steal the game from them. And I think tonight, Trey and Sadiq obviously as well, with what he did, 7 points in the last couple minutes. So I mean, between those two, yeah, Trey played like the player that we expected to be, and he's been doing this, like you just talked about this month, but you know, Chris and I were talking about this yesterday. This is a month. This is going back to December now.
Right.
Like, if you talk about, there are only 5 players in the league who are doing what Trey is doing right now, and you talking about Jokic, KD, Ant, and like Shea. It's like these are the people that he's in the category with since December 1st. So yeah, there are things he still needs to improve on. He could still be a better defensive player, sure, but we are seeing everything out of Trey Murphy right now. This is the best basketball of his entire career.
And shout out to All NBA Podcast. They put a January points per shot leader, and Trey is averaging, out of 100 field goal attempts, he's putting up 26 shots, is 1.42 points per shot, and the shot quality is the highest on the chart at 54.86. And this is leading Tyrese Maxey, this is leading Zion, Kawhi, Julius Randle, Lowry, Peyton Watson, Anthony Edwards, and LeBron. Just to give you an example of how good Trey is playing basketball. Man, it's really dope to see his involvement and, you know, what he's evolving into. The thing about it, Grub, Chris, you were talking about him being the best player on the team. It feels like, I don't, whether he's 1 or whether he's 2, however you want to quantify it just feels like Trey believes he is who he thinks he is.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and I think with Trey to be more, when we talked about last night's show, me and Grub talked about, is the assertiveness, right? You know, you got a bunch of people that's like, you know, too often over the past, you know, close to a decade, has just been waiting to be told that something belongs to them. The closest that we've seen is someone, you know, Brandon had his moments of taking the lead on things, but there were other things, whether it be off the floor or that was best for the team and the way that they were constructed, that he needed to do more, that, you know, we know that unfortunately he didn't, right? CJ was limited, and CJ knew what his role was immediately when he got there. He knew it wasn't to be the star. He knew it was to bring the best out of 1 and 14. And then Zion, you know, unfortunately, too many things have to go right or have to be convenient for him to show parts of what we saw tonight. Because the problem with Zion is that you don't see it consistently night to night. And part of that is some of that's on him, and how, motor and so on and so forth. But the other part of that is just the way people have adjusted to his game, to where they're just not going to allow him to get the type of look. He ain't gonna play a 10-win team every night. He ain't gonna play the Brooklyn Nets. He looked great, but this style of play, it don't carry night to night against good teams, against Miami, a couple of nights from, whomever the next team is. It just doesn't carry that way, or it hasn't. And if it does, you're not seeing the wins behind it. Trey is the only person on this team that can do whatever he wants to do offensively at any time. And when he tries defensively, he can be impactful there as well. You know what I'm saying? When he tries and he commits himself to rebounding, Trey can go to grab 8-10 rebounds anytime he wants. It's just a matter of if he wants to. Yeah, man. I mean, I think that, look, like, regardless of what the team is showing, regardless of what, like, until Zion's game is in a different level, as long as he's a part of New Orleans, or until you have more complementary modern pieces, more specialists that help assist the things that certain players can't do, the guy with the most gravity, 3 levels on the floor, he's the guy that should be able to shoot the most shots and should be wanting to do such. Because even that, as you saw tonight, that's going to make life a little bit easier for Zion. So where Zion can focus on a role, we starting to realize, man, and I think even, at some point we've had this conversation. Maybe it's time to stop talking about Zion being a number 1 overall player. We've been questioning if he wants that shit since he was in college. Maybe he's fine taking the back seat. We had this conversation about Anthony Davis when AD was in New Orleans. Maybe he's better suited being a number 2, or a number 3, more of a weapon that has a direct goal. I need you to do this. I don't need you to be a jack of all trades. I need you to do this. I don't need you to lead. That ain't your strong suit. I don't need you to shoot. That ain't your strong suit. I don't need you to pass. I need you to rebound, and I need you to be the force that you are with the basketball in the paint. And if you can focus on that and we can win games, that might be ultimately what brings the best. And then whatever comes after that with Zion, whatever he grows into mentally and physically from there, grows into. Till then, Trey seems to be the one most equipped, I think, right now on this team to be the best option, the most consistent option, and the person that gets the most value.
Man, well said, Chris. I really don't like to compliment you at all, but that was a very good soliloquy. I hate when you make great points. Grub, before I want to ask you about Zion, but before we do, I think this is the second time out of the last 3 games that the Pelicans have led every quarter but one. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know about the last game, but I know the game before they did. But Chris gave you he had a great point about Zion. I mean, it's something that I personally do feel like he is a more of a complimentary player than the closer, the guy, like you said, the jack of all trades. What did you think about his game tonight? Before you start, he was a highlight factory. He had some electric dunks. He had 2 blocks. He felt energized. Looked like he had a good motor tonight. What did you think about Zion?
I mean, I thought he was great in the third quarter. Like, that was vintage Zion in that third quarter, just athletically, aggression, his motor, all those things in the third quarter. That was the guy you wanted to see. And that's the guy we've been begging to see.
Yeah.
But again, the first quarter, second quarter, he was okay. Fourth quarter, he was okay. But it seems like this is what we get with Zion, is like we get one really good quarter every game. And that kind of goes into Chris's point. There's like, whether he was coming off the bench or whether he's playing now, because even tonight, his plus minus wasn't great again tonight. I think if you're going to play that way, if you're going to score in bursts like that, it's probably better for him to get his 28 minutes coming off the bench in that regard. It allows Trey, and you brought this up the other day, and we've talked about this too, is the 20 shots. When Trey is getting these 20 shots, all of these games are efficient. That 1.42 number, that went down tonight because for most of the game, he was over 1.5, but he missed a couple of shots late. But he was over 1.5 till late tonight. So, I mean, like, if you're getting 1.5 points per game out of a guy when he's giving you 20 plus he's giving volume attempts, then you have to get that guy the basketball, especially when he's giving you 4 or 5 threes in that 20. You know what I mean? Like he shot, 12 threes tonight?
13.
So, for him, especially because the other guards, when the other guards go 3 for 28 or something like 3 for 26 tonight, 5 for 26, something like that. But I mean, that's what your guards are giving you. Trey has to give you 30 now. Like, because you can't count on your guards on any given night. You can't count on Bryce McGowan to give you double figures. You can't count on Poole to give you double figures. You can't count on Fears right now from a night-to-night basis. So you gotta get the 30 from Trey. And I'm just saying, like, for Zion, offensively, if defensively, if this thing can't work, like you're no longer like I think we're all in the supposition that even if Joe keeps him, this can't be a long-term thing where you keep coming back to this as him being the guy. Like, you just can't keep coming back to that as the foundation because that has not worked. So if having him be, I mean, people say it's a joke, but if that's the best way to get 30 minutes of production out of him while he's here, then why would you not do that? Like, it just doesn't, if it's not working in starting, you're not winning games with him as a starter, it doesn't work with him in Queen defensively. I mean, it just seems to me you've got to load up on giving Trey those opportunities to prove to you now, because that to me was what the rest of the season is now. It's not about Zion proving he's the one. It's Trey proving if either his value to the league and you're going to get 4 number ones for him in this offseason, or proving his value to the Pelicans that I am indispensable here and you need to build around me too. And so I think that's what the rest of these last 40 games or so are about, because it can't be about Zion you can't get caught up again to tonight, that one quarter, and be like, see, he can do it. Then we'll be right back where we were, next year talking about this again, talking about why can't Zion play 50 games?
And Grub, that's a great point, because I think one of the things, I see a lot of hate in the comments about that comment, but Zion was so efficient, with those bench minutes, because like Chris was saying about AD, you gave him a goal, right? He had to hit these benchmarks within a specific amount of time, and he really did well doing it. So I mean, I get what you're saying. Justin really had the same point, to be honest, and we fought Justin on it, really, and you start seeing the efficiency from Zion, and it worked. But one of the things that we questioned was how long is Zion gonna be okay with that coming off the bench?
But like, what does it matter now? Like, he hasn't as a starter, we haven't gotten great games out of him. So what's he going to do, complain? If he's still getting the minutes, if you're still playing 30 minutes, like, your future is not certain here. The organization, what does the organization owe Zion Williamson at this stage? Because they paid him, they've stuck through him through thick and thin, they've given him his extensions, they've moved heaven and earth for him. What do they owe him at this stage?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm with you.
I mean,
I'm with you, Chris. Man, Grub talked about the lack of shooting from the rest of the team. Obviously, Trey gave you 5 for 13. Sadiq was 1 for 3. Jordan Poole was 2 for 4 from 3. But man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like the third best player tonight for me was Eve. I thought Eve was great, man. He had 6.7 rebounds in the first 5 minutes of the game. He ended up finishing with 12 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 block. I think not just this game either. I think he's had a stretch where he's been really good. What are you seeing differently from him in his style of play or his approach to the game?
I think the first thing is that he's seeing the basketball a little bit more. And I think with Eves, what people, when you look at him coming out of college and you kind of, zoom out, people say, oh, okay, he can protect he's going to be a solid, rim protector at some point. You're going to have him doing rebound and running the floor. And honestly, that's what he needs to still do right now. But what he wants to do and what he needs to do don't always meet here. What Eves thinks he is when he looks in the mirror and when he's on the floor, it's something totally different than what the Pelicans kind of need him to do night to night. And that's the struggle. Yves wants to be able to do things with the basketball. Yves wants an opportunity to see the ball in the post. Yves wants to have an opportunity to work on the Hakeem Olajuwon, Joel Embiid shit that he's been working on. He's more skilled with the ball in his mind than, and sometimes, you know, and we see it in flashes, but then currently, as the team is currently constructed, he has the opportunity to do, because there's no space. There's no space, and there's not many lineups with impactful players you can throw Yves out there with and give him space. And on top of that, even if you do give him the basketball, he might be the fifth option on the floor. If most lineups, if not all, four lineups. So Yves is maybe starting to realize, okay, well, I'm not getting these looks. I'm still learning the game. I am not going to be a post scorer here. I'm not playing in my home country. This ain't summer league. This ain't preseason. If I want to be involved and I want to see the floor, to have the opportunity to put the ball in the basket, 13 shot attempts tonight, I got to rebound. I got to be impactful. I can't be a reason that we're losing games. I got to be a physical presence. You know, and that's the thing. That's the thing with Yves. We've been talking about that since, you know, he got into the league, and specifically over the offseason. We talk about him taking the next step. Yeah, he's still learning the game. Yeah, he's still young in his basketball education overall. But the biggest part for him, I think that there's a lot of talent there to still be uncovered with Yves. He got to do the little shit. And tonight, in some of these games over the recent stretch, he's been doing the little things. So guess what? He got to look around at some point and say, all right, well, this center position is still vacant. Like, we still don't have, on my best night, I can do things that nobody else that we currently have on the roster can do. So maybe he's spending more time with DeAndre Jordan, who for a dude his size and with his skill set would be perfect to deal with. Will be perfect to sit up and talk to consistently. Maybe he's spending more time with Greg Monroe. Maybe he's spending more time with some of the development coaches and can starting to click. But with Yves, man, it's always the little things. You know, when it comes to being a big man, being the last line of defense, knowing where to set up offensively, knowing the space he has to give in the dunker spot, knowing when to move, how to, you know, grab, and working with his strengths versus what we know his weaknesses are, his hands, his timing, going up strong, all of those things. But, you know, I mean, tonight, if Yves is able to give you, you know, close to a double-double, and he's able to limit the middle mistakes, he's going to play this amount of minutes, because you get to a point eventually to where it's, what are your other consistent options from that role in that position right now?
Yeah, OG, you want to talk about Yves?
Yeah, he's been, obviously, he's by far the best interior defender that this team has right now. But his activity, I mean, 9 offensive rebounds tonight. Like 9 offensive rebounds. Like that right there tells you that his mindset was different. And Antonio Daniels talked about it. He changed the energy of the game. The Pelicans were down 10 before the national anthem was over. You bring in Yves, and the game turns around. That's immediately what happened. He was active. Like, that's the thing that with this team, when they start, it's always about their energy, like their urgency. And Yves played like these were the last minutes he was going to get. And he had to prove something. And that's the way he's been playing lately, it seems. Like, whether he's put up great numbers on any given night or not, the effort level is like, that's the one thing you cannot question about that young man, is that he's going to put in the work. He's going to give you the effort. And you see how they respond to him when he comes off the court, because they know he's going to give you everything he's got. He might mess up. His brain still moves too fast. Sometimes you can see it where he gets in the air and you're like, what are you going to do with that basketball?
Yeah.
And that's why his shooting percentage tonight wasn't great. There were times where he just couldn't decide, am I going to put this on the floor? Am I going to shoot the shot, or am I going to kick it out? But all those things considered, considering the fact that Queen did not play well at all tonight and was stuck to the bench, considering that Carlo didn't play a great game defensively, made a couple shots late, Yves gave you everything you had to have against a guy like Nicholas Claxton, who has given the Pelicans certain problems because of his athleticism, his ability to block shots, and his ability to get second chance opportunities. Eve limited that. So you can't ask for anything more than that. And he provided that balance for Trey. You were getting outside scoring from Trey. Zion was giving you the inside points in the third quarter in particular, as we talked about. But Eve was giving you some balance, especially getting those offensive boards to give and giving them guys that second chance opportunities too. So I just thought he played a really, really good game. And for them to be able to win, the battle of the boards for the second time in 3 games, he's been a big part of that.
Hey, Chris, I got a question. Before we, I see Marley G. I see y'all going crazy in the chat. I see y'all talking about Zion, and yeah, I don't think the rookies the reason why we here like this. I don't think the rookies is the problem. If you want my honest opinion, the problem is 24, 61, 29, 70, 30, and now 19. That's the reason why we here. So like, we could just be honest about the situation. Like, we talked about his lack of evolving in the game. You talk about not having shooters around him. Yeah, he's part of that problem too. Like, fuck, he ain't shooting. Anyways, Chris, let me ask you a question, bro. You had a tweet the other day where you talked about, man, I don't want to butcher your tweet, but you in so many words said the sun gotta shine on Jordan Poole sooner or later.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I'm asking this question because of that tweet, the minutes allocation, and obviously like how he's been playing lately. Do you still feel that same way? And how do you feel about his minutes?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't believe he's. I don't think anyone should believe that he's as bad of a basketball player as he showed at his worst this year. And I think the most alarming thing is that it was consistently bad. It felt more like a slump. It felt more bigger than a slump. You watching somebody that mentally, like from a confidence perspective, just wasn't feeling like the same dude. Now, that doesn't excuse some of the lows. That doesn't excuse the turning over the basketball. That doesn't excuse the poor shooting and the defense. It doesn't. But my thought process was he ain't this bad. I know he's not this bad. If you now accepting him for what he truthfully is in this league, different conversation depending on who you talk to and what time of day it is and what game he finished. But, I said that to say he's better than that. And then I think the next game was Orlando. And that's where he had his best game, in which felt like months, or which felt like a month. And then the following game, he was out. That's all I was saying. Minutes wise, like, look, man, if it's a confidence thing, you got to slowly get him back into playing within a role, whatever that particular role is that they have defined for him, and mastering it. Because right now, currently, we don't need you to be Washington Jordan Poole. We don't need you to be Golden State Jordan Poole. But I know one thing we really need you to do right now, and that's shoot the three. Because if we don't need you to do anything else, we need you to shoot the three. And he's been doing that well as of late. So hopefully that becomes the thing that leads into the next element of him gaining his confidence back. But it's just a lot has changed in the beginning since he was starting, and we were talking about him kind of being a dynamic part maybe of the backcourt of guys that could space the floor for Zion and Herb and company and whoever the center was. Now it's you and Trey every night, bro. Maybe Sadiq, maybe Herb, depending on what night it is. McGowan's might have a solid night. Carlos is your only spacing center. For the most part, and with Jose out, it's you two. It's Poole and Trey. If you can't do anything else, shoot the three.
Lito, may I?
Of course, absolutely. Please, sir.
So I see is, you guys love to blame Zion and Trey, but you get nothing from the developmental players you never speak on. First of all, we start with the things that were the most consequential. We talked about Trey. We talked about Zion. We're talking about Poole now. We talked about Eve. Now, I know it's been pretty consistent because I watch you guys, and you guys know that I say the same thing. We've been talking about this rookie wall for a minute.
Yep.
We've been talking about this with Jeremiah Fears for a minute. And the thing is this, and we've also said this, Chris, I believe we talked about this yesterday. They ain't going to the bench as starters. That decision has been made. Like, y'all need to, this is not a James Borrego decision about the starts, clearly.
Yep.
Now, Borrego is in control of minutes, But the starts are not his choice, clearly. They're going to start every game the rest of the year unless they get hurt. So that being the case, I got to understand what my expectations are. The rookies, as far as we are concerned, have already exceeded the baseline expectations that we had for them this season. The thing for them this year is that they were supposed to prove that they belonged, right? That's all you're looking for. Anticipating coming into this season, their role was to fit in on a team that was supposed to compete for the Western Conference playoffs. That was the expectation, that they would be contributors. Both of them have had opportunities this season to not only be contributors, but to win games for you through their performances. That being said, they're going through a part of the season that every rookie goes through. They're used to playing 35 games at the most, maybe 40 in a long high school season. And now you're asking them, they just hit 41 NBA games at 19 and 20. So yeah, they've hit a wall. They can't play defense. I don't know how many times I got to say that. I've said it all year that the defense is going to be bad when you got two rookies on the court. We've said all year that if you have a 19-year-old point guard, you are not going to win a lot of games in the NBA. We've said that. I don't. So all we can do is talk about what's happening immediately in this game and to spin. Look, we just talked about all the guards are playing terrible. Every Pelicans guard right now, and it's been this way for games now, is playing terrible. And Jeremiah Fears is part of that group. Jordan Hawkins is part of that group. But we've been talking about Jordan Hawkins for 4 years now. So what else are we supposed to say? Like the blame ultimately on a given night, yes, the most of it has to be shouldered by your best players. So that's who we focus on. When they win, who would we give more credit to tonight than the three guys we already talked about? Eve, Trey, Zion. Those are the three guys we've given the most credit to tonight. So I don't understand what y'all are listening to unless you're just coming in here to be pissed off. Like I haven't heard one thing from any three of us where we've said something derogatory or demeaning to anybody. I think we've been factual. I think we've been fair, but I'm tired of this. Somebody coming at you blasting. We're not blasting anybody. I haven't blasted anybody tonight. I haven't said anything negative about anybody. But we said, look, the reality of the situation is the Pelicans going forward. How many years in a row can you keep saying to yourself, this is the year that Zion's going to do it? Like, man, is that what we're saying? Nobody's killing him.
You know, and listen, to add on to that point, man, and well said, OG, one of the things, I literally tweet this shit every day, is 6 NBA players on the Pelicans. 6. And that might be a stretch. It might be far impossible. It might, you know what I'm saying? So yes, I'm saying that the team is not good. There's not a lot of talent here. There are not a lot of places that, you know, Borrego can look down a bench and be like, yeah, put this guy in. And what Grubb said, like, the mandate is there for him to start the rookies. Yo, look, Chris, there's film. You and I watched Jeremiah Fears. I didn't like him. I didn't like his game. Like, it's documented. He on the team now, though. Like, what you want me to do? Like, I've watched him evolve. I watched him, you know what I'm saying, come around and grow at certain areas. And of course he go regress because he's 19. But I have seen improvement in this game. I talked to you in Ivory and whoever else about, you know, DQ often. Like, I'm disappointed in most times in his motor. He's like a defense and look like he's just sleepwalking out there. I say these things. I don't know what else you want me to say about it. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead, Chris. You was about to say
I don't even know. Yeah, okay. I mean, I don't even know why even go into, like, you know, explaining about it. I mean, all these things have been documented. We talked about Fears when we broke down tape and we said, okay, like, I see this now, but I'm just curious how it evolves. Like, what's the next step in his game for a guard his size? Same shit we talking about now. You know what I mean? What is he doing when he doesn't have the basketball in his hands? Year one, same shit we talk about now. We talked about Derek Queen. What is he doing without the basketball in his hands? Same shit now. How is he gonna adjust at the next level when we're talking about, you know, being a role player in certain perspectives and being a star? Same shit now. Defense, like we all these things we talked about. Yeah, because that doesn't change.
Because here you go again. Yep, this developmental coaches thing has been going on for years, and I don't understand this. Who didn't develop, right? Who Who didn't develop? Trey developed, right? Herb developed, right? Jose developed. Okay. Dyson was here for a year and a half, basically. And Dyson has his train has not been broken so far as he's still starting in Atlanta. They moved him. Nikhil's career wasn't. You had to trade Nikhil. These were Najee developed yet. None of these guys didn't develop. Like if you want to say Jordan Hawkins has been a bust, yeah. But that's on him. Like this is the NBA. It's not on developmental coach. Show me this team where these developmental players. Show me that team. Show me the team with a bunch of developmental players. Who is this? You talking about what Boston got? Did Boston develop those? Sam Hauser? Sam Hauser shoots the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like he shoots the ball. They didn't develop those guys. In the NBA, you are responsible for your development. That's just the way it is. You always hear you do not get better during the regular season. You get better during the offseason in the NBA because there ain't no practice. There ain't no practice. Practice is about implementing game plans, not about skill development. So it's always been on the player. I've never heard NBA players say it's on the coaching staff to get me better. It's on the coaching staff to utilize you. They have to figure out what you do and put you in a position to win. It is your job as a player to get better and to add to your game.
Well, and let's say this, Grub. Like we've talked to we've had multiple conversations with different developmental coaches and coaches that are on the bench over the time, well, this particular regime and previous staffs. And you wouldn't believe some of the stuff that we've heard in regards to these dudes, the developmental coaches are available any time of day. Any time of day you could call them. Any time of day.
And the gym is always open.
And go work out. You know what I'm saying? So, and for a lot of these guys, y'all, the development happens over the summer.
That's
let me tell y'all this. When Trey Murphy finished his first year, and I've said this on the show before. I talked to his dad. His dad talked about they had a 3-year plan. They, not a developmental coach,
right?
Not someone on the business. They, between him, his father, Trey, his agency, and different trainers around the NBA, different workers, you start seeing them with Chris Brickley. You started seeing them with Hanley. You started seeing them with another one of Jason Tatum's guys. That wasn't the developmental staff, dog. Like that wasn't them. Like that element. When you see Jose over the summer, Jose might have his guys that he works out with, but he's out in different places working with a myriad of different dudes, dog. Like, y'all, I understand if you think that the organization doesn't make the right steps to help develop players. We talked about that for 20 plus years now. That's different. If you got a log jam in front of certain guys that you invest in and you're not utilizing them properly, yes, that's a front office malpractice. That's an issue. If a coach isn't playing a certain guy because he just don't like him versus this dude needs to be out there playing, that's different. But if you're talking about the developmental guys, that's totally different, dog. I can promise you the development on these players. You want to know how much you want to know how many conversations people have had with Zion about shooting jumpers, about the things he needs to do. You want to know how many? You think he won't listen to his head coach? You think he's listening to a PD guy? He won't listen to some of the greatest players that ever played the game. Like, dog, people have been begging Brandon Ingram to shoot the three. Everybody, you, me, Borrego, Willie, David Griffin, CJ McCollum. He didn't want to do it. He didn't want to shoot him and buy him consistently. He just didn't want to. These are grown men. You think the player development guy like, hey, all right, well, shit, you ain't listening. I know it, hey, bro. I know you ain't listening to your head coach, but look, brother, it's me. It's me.
PD coach making 150 grand.
Yeah, no, I'm telling y'all, it don't. I ain't even trying to murder y'all with this. You know, like when I say that, but I'm telling y'all that that's really how it works. They gotta go. Fred Vinson, when he was in New Orleans, wasn't somebody that was he wasn't he wasn't chaining people to the gym. You think Lonzo Ball, he was like, hey, No, he told Lonzo, hey, I got some ideas. And Lonzo had to go find him. Herb had to go find him. Jose, Brandon in his first year found Fred. And then from there, but this ain't a like, yo, my job is changed, it's to be next to you and follow you every day. It don't work that way, dog.
That's not life.
That's all.
That's not life. And yo, this is crazy. Minimum talent, dog. You realize who was on that pick? Bro, come on, bro. Come on.
Pascal Siakam is minimal talent. Tyrese Halliburton is minimal talent. Like, what are we talking about? Mathurin is minimum talent. These are first-round draft picks. Obi Toppin, lottery pick. What are we talking about?
Neesmith, lottery pick. Or somewhere in that range. Like, I mean, the list is
Miles Turner.
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about? There's all lottery picks. There's all lottery picks.
Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Let's come on. Let's bring this shit back.
Yes. And Sam, and guess what? Guess who his guy wasn't? It was not his player development guy.
It wasn't on the staff at all.
It wasn't. It don't work because guess what? In the NBA, it's a job, dog. When I go to another team, I can't take you with me. I can't. So
and CJ still giving him 19 on 40%.
Yeah, when Jeremiah Fears showing he hooping after the club at 4 a.m. in the morning, he did by himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shout out to Jolie. You know what I mean? But he like,
oh,
dog.
All right, Chris. Yeah, my bad, bro. I didn't mean to. My fault. But y'all, well, fuck. Let's talk about the bad. Jordan Hawkins played 18 minutes and he played 15 minutes. Excuse me. He's 1 for 5. I see people in the comments asking about. Somebody had a comment about Trey Alexander. Why can't he play over Jordan? Why can't Micah Peavy play? What's your explanation for the Hawk minutes, but there's nobody on the roster? But anyway, since we're doing the show, girl, what's your explanation of the Hawk minutes?
It's desperation to balance the floor. Like, they are trying to find anybody who's willing to take some shots and make some shots. Like the 3-point general, like tonight they got over 30 attempts, but we're still seeing nights with 25. Like, that just can't happen because they're not proficient. So I think that's really Borrego is like desperate to find somebody to help him balance the floor because Fears ain't making, like, nobody's making shots. So he's going with guys who he hopes can at least get warm, maybe hit a couple before he goes back to the bench. But it didn't happen tonight, obviously, and it hasn't happened in the last few games. It's just, you got the worst. This has been something that's going on the whole season, right? Schmidt has documented it. We've seen it. It is the worst guard rotation in the entire NBA. No team has a worse guard rotation than New Orleans Pelicans.
I mean, it's just miserable, bro. And like, the thing is, you could criticize the rotation. I get it. You somebody asked why did Zion JB pull Zion in the closing, bro? Like, he played 30 minutes. He played 30 minutes. I'm not really sure. Anyways,
before we move on real quick, because you say the 30 minutes, and this is what's funny because people keep talking about the minutes. A, his minutes are about the same as they were last year, and I keep pointing that out. But B, last year at this time, everybody was screaming. They found the sweet spot. They found the number for him, the max number to get the most out of him. Everybody, fans, reporters, everybody was saying the Pelicans don't need to play him any more than 32 minutes a night. Remember, that was the thing last year because he was playing 28 minutes a lot during that stretch. He wasn't even getting to 30. Everybody's like, when is he going to get to 30 minutes again? Like, he went a whole month where he didn't get to like 30 minutes. So like his production still last year, I still look at, and we talked about the explosiveness tonight. You saw explosiveness, but let's not say we've seen that every night. Like, that third quarter Zion was a different Zion than we've seen over the last couple of weeks. It's just that guy, maybe he still exists in his soul. You know what I'm saying? But that dude, he does not want to be that guy every night for whatever reason, whether it's New Orleans, whether it's just frustration in general, whether his mind just ain't right. He's not Superman every night. He's Clark Kent for 3 quarters and gives you one good Superman, but he's got to give you more. And it's It's just really frustrating. It's just frustrating.
Hey, before we move on, man, let's get a few ground rules on the table, man. Look, we're gonna be respectful of each other, because if not, I swear to God, I will rib you for an hour and 37 fucking minutes. I swear to God, I will do this podcast every day for the rest of my life, and I will rib the piss out of you. So let everybody just calm down. You know what I'm saying? Chill out. Let's talk about basketball.
Nah, Lito. Nah. Let him go. Let him go. That's what we're here for. And this after a win.
I'm trying to figure out what we said that was crazy though. Like it's not like
look, Lito, you gotta realize, dog, that people have attachment to some of these players. On top of that, some of these, like, bro, I saw somebody say, "How y'all know how I work in the NBA?" Well, yeah, bro, I ain't been an NBA player. I ain't been on the road for 82 games a year. But guess what? You got David Grubb, who's been in many locker rooms, who's talked to several different players, has covered the team, you know, in other teams for years, who's been a journalist and a broadcaster, an award-winning such. He's here. He's here.
Look at this soft shit, man.
He's here.
Up, man. Shut up.
Me.
Y'all, we like, mean. You're fucking grown, man. Shut up, man. We talk about basketball, man.
Look. I ain't talking about nobody's kids.
Like, what y'all talking about, dog? Like, what? You know, but because look, these be the same people, dog. When Zion has 5 straight games, or he has a few games where he's not playing well, or the team is struggling, they blaming the coach, they blaming this person, they saying Trey ain't this, they saying that, and people calling CJ McCollum a terrorist.
A terrorist.
And it was people calling CJ McCollum a fucking terrorist.
Yo,
like what? This is like, we gotta be real about this shit, dog. But keep moving. They got 10 wins. What we arguing about?
You know what, man? Shout out to the Cubs, man. 10 win Pelicans. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy to be a part. I love the, you know what I'm saying? The crazy thing is, there's people in the comments saying, it's the front office and the franchise fault. My dog, we've been saying that shit for 5 fucking years. Like, what? Welcome to the island.
We're not in the building, but partially because. What do you mean, dog? Like what? Like somebody. Wait, hold on. What is comment at Zion Williamson? Say, bro, look, I respect that 100%, but look, you got to be real even about your favorite player. Your favorite player. There are things I cannot tell you on this podcast about your favorite player. That don't mean I ain't rooting for him.
Right.
That don't mean I don't want him to be great. But if you want him to be great, you got to be real about him. Shoot a jumper, dog. It's 7 years. Play defense. Don't be lazy. Come to practice.
Don't miss a flight.
Don't miss a flight.
12 of them. Like,
because look, man. You want me to lie to him? You want me to lie to him? We're gonna be having the same conversation 7 years from now.
Yeah.
Keep your business quiet. Like, you know, stop letting that get into your life. It's those things. I don't want to know about Zion Williamson's personal life. I don't ever want to know it. But he keeps making it so that I gotta hear about his life. I don't want to hear about that stuff. I don't care. But it's we've said. I'm on support the Pels for Poole, but y'all lied to him. I don't know who lied to him. He was traded. I don't know who lied to him. He was given an opportunity. And we, again, as Chris said earlier, we're going to get off this Jordan Poole thing.
Yo, Byron, log off. Log off, Byron.
Okay. All right. What was we saying?
Man, it don't
Jordan
even.
Poole.
Yeah, Jordan Poole.
Yeah.
Nobody, look, as Chris said, Jordan Poole, the shooting numbers have been basically the same. He were bad shooting numbers in the preseason. They were poor shooting numbers before he got hurt. And he's had poor numbers since he got back. It's like that, whatever you think, however you think he's been used, not used, lied to, whatever, the shots go up. They ain't going down. And that's all that matters. The thing you see every NBA broadcast is a make or miss league. It's a make or miss league. He missing. And that's it. That's not personal. That ain't got nothing to do with his family. That ain't got nothing to do with what kind of man he is. He's not making shots. And the team, that's the one thing he was brought to do. Like Chris said, you got to make shots. Now you got to make threes for sure. You ain't making twos. You better make some threes for us. That's it. and defend a little bit. Just at least put your hands up defensively. Don't let dudes just go right by you. And Borrego cannot let that. And I mean, like, he does have a responsibility to teach the rookies who do not defend. You cannot reward Jordan Poole for not defending and then go tell those rookies they're on the bench for not defending. That is part of it too. Poole if he wanted to come in here and be the leader and be the guy that everybody was saying, oh, the locker room loves Jordan Poole, then that shouldn't stop because you missed some shots.
Right.
Nobody had no problems with Kevon Looney. Nobody had no problems with DeAndre Jordan. And yeah, you can say they have different roles, but still, like whomever these guys are, they're guys who thought that they would have bigger roles, and you just don't. And that's life. But Jordan Poole still has to be a professional, and he still has to try to compete every time he's in the game. And his effort and his shot making and his decision making waxes and wanes across the course of the game. And it's just James Borrego has too many variables already on a bad team. Too many variables. You cannot let a veteran be another variable.
Hey, man, look, my thing, and shout out to everybody who feels really passionate about their player, whatever your player is, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to you. You know what I'm saying? I wish y'all nothing but like happiness and success. But like, man, like Marley G, I hear what you're saying. Bro, can we get him to shoot more than 12 to 14 shots? Like, can we get him to be the person you want him to be, the person you think he is? Like, how can we get him to shoot the ball more? All right, he don't want to shoot a three. That's cool, right? But can we do something else? Like, what is the answer here? That's all we asking for. We just want a superstar to superstar. Like, we just want the star to be the star. I didn't ask for Trey Murphy to be the best player on this team, but we've been sitting here 7 years waiting on Zion to be fucking Zion Williamson. Like, at what point am I supposed to just be like, all right, it's never gonna happen? Like, it's year 7, dog. Like, again, I'm not. I'd love for Zion to be great. Go ahead.
Look, Lito, you remember when CJ first got to New Orleans and he said, you know, there was a question about why he was like an uptick in him shooting threes. And he mentioned because there's so many different players that like to have the same spots, operate out of the same space. So if I got to be the one to shoot more threes to give them their looks on the floor, that's ultimately what I would do. You know what I'm saying? I like, you know, CJ was one of the best mid-range shooters of all time. He might still be, but his efficiency from the mid-range was why he's always been a good three-point shooter as well. The mid-range is where he killed and made a lot of his money at. He pretty much said, I'm gonna give that up with the advancement in the game, and because I'm playing next to BI and and Zion and so on and so forth. Well, Zion, man, at some point, he has to take that next step. Like, yo, I gotta work with what's given to me. Yes, the franchise has not done him a disservice by still not putting a stretch 5 on his team, by still not putting rim protection, by still not putting shooting specialists consistently year after year after year. Not guys that can shoot, they want to do something else. Guys that strictly are in the game to shoot the basketball. They have not done it. And if you have someone like Zion, it shouldn't even be a question. It should be mandatory that those type of options. There's a reason JJ Redick got to New Orleans the first year he did. That's a Zion signing. Off rip it is. You should have been you should have been finding ways to get those kind of guys every single season and more of them. Unfortunately, they didn't. They tried to draft and bring in guys that they could hope develop into such, and it didn't work consistently. Certain guys, you just ain't gonna be able to turn into a shooter. They might have a good shooting season, but right. It's a difference. It's a difference between a motherfucker, with a strap and a motherfucker that can use a gun. It's just different. Some people can shoot. They've been born to being able to shoot. That's the way they're doing it their whole life. And there's other people that learn how to shoot. Zion needs specialists. However, y'all know this in y'all life. It ain't about what's given to you. It's about what you do with what's given to you. It ain't about people giving you certain gifts consistently. Bro, you play the cards you dealt. And at some point, if you Zion at some point, you're like, fuck it, I'll be the shooter. If it ain't gonna be nobody else, I'm just gonna work on it.
I want the shots. At the very least, just get selfish and be like, they my shots. I'm gonna take them however I get them.
Blake Griffin did it.
Because I ain't got a choice. You know what I mean? If they ain't gonna give me these options versus going into a brick wall and running into 4 or 5 players every single night, I don't give a and you are generational with that. Nobody does that better than Zion Williamson. Nobody.
If
That's great.
If you don't have a great point guard as Zion, then grab the ball off the glass and take it yourself. Like, you can't have nights where you got 2 rebounds. That can't happen. You got to grab the boards and bring that ball up the court yourself sometimes. Derek Queen doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you used to do that. It was he's never been a great rebounder, but he used to give you at least 4 or 5 defensive boards, go get you something, and be out in transition, leading the break. How many times do you see him leading the break anymore? It just, his rebounding is down, his passing is down, his steals are down. Like, it's just, he's not doing those. He's just not being that guy. Nobody has ever said he was a shooter. It's take the midi, take the 10-footer. Right. That's all. We're not saying be stop and pop coming around looking like Carmelo. Take the 10-footer off the glass. That's all. If they spin you back right, be able to.
Yo, Grub, and Marley G, we're not asking him to be a shooter. We're asking him to take a shot. We're just asking him to take a shot. Just keep the defense honest. AD talks about that shit all the time on the broadcast. You gotta be able, like, teams gotta think, okay, you know, he might not be a great shooter, but guys in the NBA just not gonna leave you. But if you just, bro, I feel like we're in the upside down right now.
No, I mean, we are, bro, because look, even Zion said it himself. If somebody is criticizing me and is coming from a good place, cool. And everything that's being said here is coming from a good place. It's been said, bro. We're asking what you should ask of anybody that you watch and you want to see do well. We just want them to improve. Okay, if Zion's never gonna shoot, cool. Become amazing out of the post. I'm talking footwork. I'm talking jab steps. I'm talking pull-up middies. I'm talking bank shots. I'm talking left hand, right hand. I'm just like, yeah.
Kid got no shooting.
You know what I mean? But even they have went out and got Malik Beasley and got Fontecchio and got Duncan Robinson and company. You know what I mean? You know, they attempted, but that ain't great spacing. Like, what y'all want, dog? If Zion, your move can't be halfback dive every single time, and this ain't saying that from a space of get him the fuck out of here. It's saying you gotta evolve. So if we were talking about somebody that was more like Zebo that could work out there, then you have a different conversation about Zebo about Zion, because he can affect the game differently. But if your main way of affecting the game is out in transition, or at the top of the key, or literally 3 to 4 dribble drives every single time, bro, that is so taxing. And eventually the league is gonna catch up. That's it. Want him to be more than one-dimensional. That's it. No matter how great that is, no matter how generational he makes it look, no matter what night's tonight. What about tomorrow night? That's it.
Molly G, let me ask you this. And this is my last. We're gonna get to some chat questions and get somebody give me a like count too, man. What is the podcast like count at? Molly G, you said he gonna go to another team and be everything we want him to be because they know they will construct a roster for him. What am I supposed to do about that? Like, I waited 7 years for him to be like, what I ain't still for playoff. He ain't get a playoff minute. What am I supposed to do about that?
Say you got a spouse and y'all been together 7 years.
All right, let's talk.
And you've been waiting for your spouse
to
do right by you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you keep telling them that you say, "Why don't you? I need you to come home on time." They don't never come home. She walking in at 2 a.m. You tell her, "Hey, let me know where you at. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to keep you informed." You say, the kids need clothes. I need you to take the kids. She forgets to get the kids clothes. 7 years of this. 7 years of that. You think she gonna get that straight? You think that man that ate mowing the lawn, he said he gonna get to it on Sunday, but the grass ain't never cut. After 7 years of that, you think he gonna start cutting the grass? You know what I'm saying? Like that, people don't change. And I used to say this when I was coaching kids. Let me say this real quick. When I was coaching kids, parents always think that their kid's gonna be a star. They always think their kid's gonna be a star. At 5 years old, you start coaching kids at 5, there's a parent who's coming up to you and knows that their kid is gonna make it. And I tell them, like, they want you to motivate their kid. The great ones you never have to tell. The great ones you never have to tell the great ones to go work. You never have to tell the great ones to get up and go practice. You never have to tell the great. But most of the kids that show up just want to have fun. 99% of the kids that come, they just trying to have fun because they just want to play the game. And that's in the NBA. It's the same thing. And you hear players talk about it. More and more of these guys are here because they want to be basketball players. They want to have the lifestyle of the NBA. They want to have the things that go along with it. They enjoy playing basketball. But do you want to be a winner? Do you want to be great? And if you come into the league saying these things, if you come in and say, I want to be impactful, you say you want to have your name in the record books forever, you want to be remembered as one of the greats, then you have to go beyond what we expect. Like the greatness of LeBron James is that no matter what we expected from him as the number one pick coming out of high school, he exceeded that. No matter what people thought Michael Jordan was going to be, he exceeded that. So for Zion to never have played the playoff game, to never have played 70 games in a season, like you got to get beyond that before we even start talking about we're going to go for year 8.
Yeah, shout out to A-Stars, man.
That's all right. You win. You get that. All right. I can't. If she give it 25.
Yeah, y'all sick, man.
Oh man.
All right.
Man. That's
all right, man. Let's get to these star questions, man. Somebody said we had 65 likes, man. I ain't.
That's crazy. That's crazy,
man. This performance we putting on right now, man. We're only 60 something. Likes, what we doing?
It's crazy, man.
All right, man.
I guess this is about Zion.
Yeah,
shout out to my name is I guess that's about Zion. I mean, that's a little crazy the way you phrase that question, that response. But I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't, you know.
We up to 90 likes.
We up to 90. Appreciate it.
Up to 90.
Should be 200, but I guess we'll start somewhere. Shout out to Esan Williamson 7179. Y'all are insane. There's one unstoppable player on the Pels, even with the offensive limitations, and that's Zion. Zion really tries to do what every coach has asked, and that's probably his flaw. If that's the only flaw you see, then shout out to you. Teflon down 4-5-1. You're not winning games because Zion gets his first.
Okay. All right. So boom. Let's have this conversation. How does Jeremiah Fears end every night with 13 to 15 shots a night? How does Jordan Poole come? How was Jordan Poole taking any shot he liked to shoot? You think like it was like, hey, this is your turn, sir?
Right.
No.
You think anybody freezing him out?
Like, you know, look. I get drawing up shit for Zion. I understand that 100%. Don't ignore him. I got a problem with that. I got a problem with ignoring and not involving him. Yeah. But at some point, he gotta go say, and Lito say this all the time, yo, give me the basketball. Or go get the ball. Or fuck, man, give me this rebound. It's me now. You know,
I mean, stand there. Like, how many times have you seen a star player, the teammate gets the rebound, they ain't had a ball while they just stand there after the rebound, like, give me the rock. I'm going to take it up court now. I'm taking the ball. Nobody's going to say anything if Zion takes the basketball. We've seen him handle the ball. Somebody's going to be mad if he does that. But like I said, you don't see the reactions on the sidelines. Like, if my teammates are not getting me the ball at some point, whether you Keyshawn Johnson or whomever, you know what I'm saying? Give me the damn ball. You are Zion Williamson. If you want the ball, then I'm gonna tell Jeremiah Fears I'll grab him by the back of his neck. Young man, you want to play in this league? You get number one the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, did Shaq ever have any problem? Shaq lived on TV. It didn't matter what guard he had. Penny Hardaway. It didn't matter if it was Kobe Bryant. It didn't matter Dwayne Wade. If Shaq didn't feel like he was getting the ball, he got on TV, he got in the newspaper, and he told you, we ain't gonna win nothing until you give me the ball. Right? How many? That was his whole career. We ain't winning nothing tonight if you don't give me the ball. We ain't winning no playoffs. You don't. Where's Zion with that? 7 years in. If you think that you're not getting the shots that you deserve, if you think the offense isn't being directed towards you, you are the franchise player. You have been given the spoils, the responsibilities, and all the great things that come along with that. Demand your shots. Demand your shots. You don't have to be disrespectful to do it, but you can damn well get up on that podium and say, I need more shots if we're going to win. And nobody would blame you. Nobody would blame if you would maximize your time on the court. If you're the best player and you demand more shots, who's going to say no if you're out there trying to get them at the other parts of the game? But you see him at times where he just stands there on the offensive end and doesn't make himself available, doesn't clear any space, doesn't go into the post and say, just throw it to me right here. I'll try to do something. You don't see that. You just don't see it. His game, nobody's going to deny his talent. You saw it in the third quarter. He can be at times unstoppable. But when the defense decides or he decides that he doesn't want to be, then you're not the juggernaut.
Man, they got a lot of so Marty G said, now since he ain't playing, we forgot about the 40 he dropped on Brown and AD. Without it, there's no playoffs last year. All right, cool. That was a great game. And then Marley G followed it up by saying, you can't, what he said, can't help injuries. Actually, you can. Because if you're available for those, we can't see.
Can't say it.
We can't. No mind. Because see, it's so much that y'all don't know that no mind. You know what, Chris? You're right. Yes, we are in rookie wars. We are cemented in that it's a 18-wheeler right there, and they standing in the middle of the hill. Yes. Breeze 31. Fears may not be what we think. I don't think he will ever be a high assist point guard. If he can be a better decision maker, we may need to think about putting him in a package, a 6'2" lead guard, not it. I'll let y'all have that one.
Now wait. Yeah. What if now Breeze, what if Jeremiah Fear is one of my favorite players? How come you get to say that but I can't criticize Zion? Why can't I say the same thing you say about Zion?
That's crazy,
Say that about that's crazy, dog. That's crazy. You see how that go? All right, go ahead, girl.
I just think, look, I view Fears more, and I said this as more of a lead guard than a shooting guard. I mean, than a point guard. I think he's more in the mold of a Gilbert Arenas or Monte Ellis, that kind of player, to be able to score a lot of points. That's his forte. But I don't think anybody on this team, and I think a lot of people have said it, there's nobody that you could possibly say on a 10-win team is untouchable. Like, so if somebody called with the right package for Jeremiah Fears, if the right value comes along, you have to consider it. There is a player, yes, but you're not actively shopping him at this stage. That would be ridiculous. But no, I mean, I think the logical part of this is you got 10 wins. There's nobody on your team that you can sit there and say, no, nobody can have them. There's a price to be paid. But Jeremiah, I'm not going to do this after 40 games with him when he shouldn't be starting anyway.
Right. Yeah, I seen that, Chris. Hey, shout out to Breeze again. Breeze said, I know players watch the podcast. Herb Jones said he watched the show, so ease up a little bit. And listen, man, all due respect to Herb, we appreciate everybody who watched. But no, I'm here to tell the fucking truth. I'm not trying to be friends. I don't want to be friends with these guys. You know what I'm saying?
They ain't gonna be friends with us. I'm never gonna be at Zion's parties.
I ain't never got a DM say, hey man, I like that nice show you did about me and those compliments. Here are 3 free tickets to the next game. Like, well, I mean, like, for what? Because look, what I want people to realize is, bro, we probably have more, especially in the off season, we have more positive shows than constructive shows. I don't hear anybody coming to us like, man, I love that show. I love those positive. Man, you're so positive. Man, you're so optimistic. We don't get them. But the minute we start being constructive, we start trying to talk about how things to get better. Then we talking about ease up. No, we want these players to be better, dog. We talk been once 20 plus, almost 25 years, might be 25 years now of watching this team in New Orleans. It's deeper than this, dog. That's it.
Yeah, so next year is 25. Next year is 25 years.
No, fucking Ross said that. Well, 5 thought Herb could shoot 40% from 3 the rest of his career. Well, nobody talk about nothing then. But to show somebody say, man, Herb is Herb needs to come off the bench. Oh no, you can't say that. Like, no, okay, y'all want it this way. Y'all better get a flowers when we had these positive shows too. That's it.
Hey, you want a number? You want a number real quick?
Yeah.
What's the Pelicans' longest winning streak in history? Do you remember?
Ooh.
9,
12?
10.
10. They've done 10 twice. The last one was in 2018. Remember when they made the playoffs? They could double that. They could go on a 20-game win streak and they'd still be 4 games under 500. Like, think about that. They could win 20 games in a row and they would still be 4 games under 500. Like, what are we doing, man? That's the team we're talking about right now. That's the team we're talking about. And we got people saying we got good players. Like,
That's crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? But again, I appreciate y'all pulling up. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna get to y'all comments because we really appreciate the interaction. We just trying to keep it, you know what I'm saying? Squalo says BI is shooting threes now.
That I've seen.
I was about to say I got it, grab. Hold on, I got it.
Y'all niggas worship him. Lie.
Yeah.
Mind you, this all love. This all love. Yeah, y'all. I hope ain't nobody taking none of this personal, man. We just podding, man. But let's if we gonna talk, let's talk. Whoever had that comment about Shaq, saying Shaq was one dimensional.
Hey, that was
Joseph,
crazy.
what we doing?
That's crazy.
Bro, did we watch how Shaq changed games? Do we realize like the footwork?
Motherfucker 7'1", 340 pounds, dog.
Like I mean, being about Shaq, man. Yeah. But I want to keep it a being about Shaq. You know what I mean? Like let's this Zion and Shaq thing gotta stop. Dog. One man operated on either block. Everything could revolve around him at any moment. And another guy has one particular move that typically has to start at the perimeter that is going directly to one side of the floor, going against 4 to 5 players at all times at 6'6".
One person is Shaquille O'Neal, and the other one is
and
not.
one person is Shaq.
That's all that matters.
Like the most dominant motherfucker of all time.
Of all time. Like it's like Will Chamberlain was one dimensional too. All right.
Oh, this is a good one. Grab this for you, bro. Crispy Clean 1911. How y'all know how I work in the NBA?
Well, what 10 years of credentialed coverage in the NBA, knowing players, having worked with them in different situations and whatnot, and just listening to them, listening to coaches, being at practices, doing you observe and you listen, just like with anything else. Just like you observe and you listen. Can I ever say that I know exactly what it is to be in the NBA? No, I didn't play. I don't know, but I can discern information and I can report it. And I will stand by the things that I did for more than a decade. I stand by my presence in that locker room. I stand by the things I reported, and I stand by the way that I presented myself in there. So I think I can't tell you 100%, but I mean, is anything that we've said anything less credible than what Stephen A. Smith would say on First Take? You know what I'm saying? Like, what would make you think it's more credible if we said players, when we say players got to get better in the offseason, what would make that more credible? If a player came up here and said it? Because they'd say the same thing. They'll say the same thing. Like, even if we were faking it, I could show you 20 interviews where players talk about that. Like, even if I would just want to fake you out and pretend that I had knowledge, I could do that. But I was in the locker rooms. I've never had a coach tell me that I wasn't paying attention to what he was saying, or it wasn't that I haven't had a good relationship with him. And that's a lot of these guys too. You know what I'm saying? Like, Chris has spoken to plenty of people. Lito's spoken to plenty of people because we ask questions. I can never say, but I mean, I don't know what it's like to fly a plane, but I can listen to a pilot and he can tell me what it is, and then I can tell somebody else. You know what I'm saying? I still don't know how it is to fly a plane, but at least I know how it works. So that's how we know how it works in the NBA. We don't know everything that happens, and we don't purport to know everything that happens, but we know what we know, and we'll tell you what we can.
Man, just kind of like, not even I would never have Grubb's experience as far as like being in the locker room and his professionalism. But like, man, I'm in the city. I'm outside. I see these dudes all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, we might not. They ain't. I'll tell you this. certain players want to come on the pod. You know what I'm saying? Certain players wouldn't come on the pod. But I tell you, I knew about the disdain for Willie Green like long before, you know what I'm saying, it was actually reported. Like they'll tell you, like, man, I don't, you know, certain players got, you know, left from free agency and they wanted to leave long before that. You know what I'm saying? But it's certain things that we really just can't. I'm not about to put their business on the street. You know what I'm saying? We having a conversation somewhere. Like I ain't about to come and pot about it. But yeah, man. Shout out to Grub, man. Damn, this kind of tying to that. Actually, if I could get y'all to do one more thing, it would be more candid about the behind the scenes stuff. You can make it quiet, man. I'm gonna let Grub and Chris answer. My answer is kind of a catch-22 because if it's, again, like I just said, if it's a conversation that we had, I'm not gonna blast that conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's some journalistic shit that we talking about, obviously everybody gonna have a scoop on that scenario. But like the last time I was at Media Day, like me and Herb had a conversation, and you know, it was Herb's a funny guy. If I'm sure Grub, you know, like he's not gonna be funny on the camera, right? If you just talking to him, he hilarious. But there's certain things like he ain't gonna say on camera. It's certain interactions, and that's, you know, a lot of the but I'd say a lot of things with the Pelicans in general, man, we just be trying to stay away from, bro. Like,
so I'm gonna say this, and I gotta go.
Me too.
I was told once by a player, by a reporter. The reporter told me that anything an NBA player or an athlete tells you, they assume is in confidence.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean that that's 100%, you know, that's always the case. Sometimes people will lead you on to, you know, to kind of, you know, they'll dress something up for you to be able to report on it or for you to be able to have a conversation on it. But almost all the time they tell you something, and not just players, analysts, broadcasters, people in the building, or the coaching staff, whatever. If they sought you out, unless they say, let's your relationship like that, and you ask for permission, you know, or they sort of they're looking at you to being able to leak some shit. 100% of the time, dog, they are expecting that it's in confidence. So it's only so many different ways you can say something before somebody in that building knowing, oh, how that get out. It's only one way that could have got out. And sometimes you're telling yourself, you telling the source, and you don't get the shit no more, and you break a relationship over trying to go viral or trying to let y'all know something. Sometimes you got to read between the lines and catch us on good days. You know what I mean? Well, we not caring, or years down the line, but you got to respect the person because you never know when you need that person again,
right?
Or whatever relationship can kind of lead to. That's how I look at it.
I used my private conversations to inform my public questions. You know what I'm saying? Like, I talk to the players, you talk to coaches, you talk to people in the arena, whatever. And you use that information, like I say, you don't you reflect on your sources, but you use that to inform the questions you ask. You know what I mean? Like, that's what that's for. They are giving you breadcrumbs for a reason. If somebody's got something to get off of their chest and they tell you, like, in confidence, they're telling you for a reason. Now, they're not asking you, again, it's a conversation. It has a point. I'm giving you this information for a reason, but I'm also expecting you, the maturity of it, like you would with anybody else you have a conversation with in life. If you go to work and you have a conversation with another, and in this environment, we are co-workers in that regard. You know what I'm saying? In that regard, we are extensions of that biosphere in that regard. So, yeah, there's a mutual respect that goes there. It helps me do my job, those conversations, and it helps. That's the last thing that we have, because we don't have the locker room access that we used to have. We don't guys don't travel on the team planes anymore. Those days are over for reporters. So those conversations that you get, that's really the last thing that you get to build these relationships with players off the court, because you ain't hanging out with them in clubs. You're not seeing them in these places. It is no longer that kind of thing where reporters and players did mingle. Like my mentors, like Ro Brown and stuff, Ro used to hang out with Saints players in the street and stuff and know what they were doing. And you kept things quiet or talked about it because it wasn't people's business. But I think now it is part of sourcing, is a big part of reporting, and you have to respect your sources always and just use it to inform your job, and not, you can't let them be your job, because that you'll never get that information twice. Never.
Everybody ain't Pablo Torre, bro. I'm out of here.
Yep, gotta go.
Everybody got out of here too, man. Peace. Thank y'all. See y'all Friday.